The Mental Health is a Lifestyle podcast is not a substitute for your relationship with the mental health professional. Hello, family. Welcome back to another episode of The Mental Health is a Lifestyle podcast with your girl, Andrea Wise-Brown. Hey, family. We are back here again. And I'm happy to see you once again, see you and to talk to you once again, to inspire you once again, to empower you once again. Well, let me just tell y'all something that your girl forgets to do, because when I come on here, I'm so excited to talk to you that I forget to ask you to please subscribe and click that little bell so that you get the notification when another episode is up, and share it, please. Like it and share it. So last time I didn't say that on the last episode because I was so into what it was that I needed to say. And then afterwards I was like, okay, Andrea, you didn't ask your family what to do. Although if you're a part of the family, you've probably already done that. However, I still need to say it in the case somebody's just stopping by our space, our spot, right? They could just be listening in for the first time. And so I would really appreciate that. But now, y'all, I'm on task. So this week, family, what I want to talk about is going on a journey. Going on a journey. And when I'm talking about a journey, I am talking about a specific place that you want to go. And so maybe the journey looks like achieving a goal, maybe in regards to your career. Maybe it's a journey with aligning with your purpose for being and serving your purpose while you're here on this earth. Maybe it's a journey of literally traveling to another country. And there are a whole bunch of thoughts that come up in your mind that come from your trauma that says, I can't go on that journey, or it seems like it's too big for me, or maybe it feels like something that somebody else could do. Maybe because something that I've been told all of my life about the journey that I need to be on is stopping me. That thought is stopping me from going on this journey that I truly yearn. Or maybe you're in some type of relationship or friendship or family system that continues to perpetuate to you this story of you need to stay close because the world is unsafe out there and you better not venture off up out of what we got going on here. Maybe you're going to disappear. Maybe you're going to die if you go on a journey. So maybe those things could be what's getting in the way of a journey that you want to go on for yourself. Maybe the journey is for you to go on by yourself. So I am here to encourage you to think about the journey, to plan the journey. And I'm here to say, go on the journey. I'm here to push you, to tell you to go on a journey. Necessarily going back on that trip is coming out of that childhood trauma or those stories of what you can't do. You can't travel to another country. They'll kill you over there. That's a side street. Let me kind of sit down and map this out. I'm going back on my journey because what my internal navigation says is it's pulling me there for a reason. That's a journey that I want to go on. That's a journey that's going to feed my soul. Whether someone wants to come or not, that is a journey that is going to feed my soul, no matter what anybody says, no matter what judgment says. I'll tell y'all a little side story about me making a decision to go on this journey. So y'all remember when we were in COVID, okay? COVID was a very scary time. Very, very, very scary time. And I think it was a scary time for most of us. even people who had more risk tolerance than others, it still was a scary time because we were like literally all in this place. We were in a pandemic, but it was a place of the unknown. We just didn't know what to do. And if you are wired to have higher anxiety like myself, child, I was fighting COVID tooth and like I was constantly fighting COVID, fighting COVID, fighting COVID, fighting COVID. Uh, you know, so meaning, right, we wiping off packages when you go into the store. I wouldn't go down the aisle if somebody else was down the aisle. Then I get mad at them, like, why would you come down my aisle? Because I was coming down this aisle while, wearing a mask or maybe two masks, okay, because you knew there was one mask that you get the particles through, and there was another mask that you couldn't get the particles, all those things. Okay, I was obsessing. Okay, I was really obsessing over being extra clean and extra safe during COVID, right? Because I'm going to make sure that I don't get COVID, okay? I'm going to make sure that my family doesn't get COVID either. And I'm sure going to make sure that my family don't give COVID to me. All right, let me just be fully, so I was over controlling the whole situation. But thank God, there were other people in my household who felt like me, who was trying to over control karate chop COVID from everywhere that it was coming from too. So everybody, we was all like, okay, we're going to try to keep ourselves safe. And we were all really being really smart about keeping ourselves safe. I wouldn't even go around my friends, y'all. But this is the thing. Doing all of this journey, okay, y'all, I'm on a journey of life. During this time of COVID, when I'm, in my head, I'm thinking, okay, this is what you need to be, an extreme, and don't do this and don't do that and don't touch this, right? And I would not go around friends. And even some of my friends who told me that they were being super careful and they weren't going anywhere either. And they like, let's just meet up. And I was like, no, I'm not. I love you, but I ain't meeting up with nobody. You know what I'm saying? Because then you done gave me the COVID and I'll be mad at you forever. And I don't know what the COVID is going to do to me. And that whole thing. But this is the thing, y'all, that's so interesting about life and learning. Through all of that working for me, karate chopping and running away from and setting up all kinds of barriers of COVID, who caught COVID and who caught COVID first in my household? Me. I admit it. I am here. My name is Andrea, and I caught COVID first. I was the COVID police, and I caught COVID. Until this day, y'all, I'm going to tell y'all the truth. I still don't know how I caught COVID. I really don't know how I caught COVID. But I caught COVID. I kind of think, low-key, that God gave me COVID. Because, Lord, I hope that's not, I don't want to lie on you, Lord. But let me just say, we do know that the Lord allows things to occur. So I'm going to rephrase that. I do believe that the Lord allowed me to get the COVID so that I could chill out. So that I could chill out, so that I could relax and I could go back to living my life and not necessarily over controlling somebody else's. It was like I needed to get it to freaking relax. Because then for me, and this is my experience, because COVID came through and it was rampant and it destroyed a lot of people and a lot of families by taking people from this earth. A lot of people died and passed away from COVID. And I will not dismiss that because that is the truth. But I am telling you about me, my car, my journey got me on this earth. My experience catching COVID was about something else for me. And that's what I'm here talking about. It was to teach me to relax myself and to live life again, to start living life safely, but not over obsessing, because the one who over obsessed about it was the first one who got it. The irony. And then what it did was it gave me this feeling and this yearning to take a journey. So for y'all know, remember that time, if you didn't live near your parents and you could move your parents in with you, or you didn't live in the house with your parents, you yearned your parents. If you never yearned them before during COVID, you yearned your parents. And so for me, I needed to see my mama. I needed to see my mother. I needed to see my sister. I needed to see my auntie. I needed to see my stepdad. Like, I needed to see them. However, because of COVID, I want to make sure I don't get them sick, so because I don't know, from somebody who could have impacted me. I didn't want to impact them because what was happening to older people. So I stayed away. But it wasn't until November of 2020 that I got COVID. And it literally, although it was dark and it was scary, and the symptoms that I had were symptoms of the flu. However, it gave me a streak of enlightenment and awareness, because in that moment, I said to myself, I want to go on a journey. I want to go on a journey, and I want to go see my mama. I want to go see my family. I'm not getting on a plane, because at that time, not shortly after that, okay, then I got on the plane and I was going everywhere on a plane. But at this moment, right after it happened, I waited my days, 14 days. Then it might have been another 7 days, because, I was really listening to the CDC. So I waited till I was like fully clear. And then I asked my daughter, you want to take a journey with me? Do you want to take a journey with me of doing something that we have never done before? But I want to do it. You want to go see grandma? You want to go see Pop? You want to see Doll? You want to see Auntie Marion? Like, you want to go and see? She was like, yes, because she was on a break from law school. So I said, okay, I got an idea. Enlightened. I want to drive from Texas to New Jersey to go see my mama, to go see my family. You want to ride with me? Do you want to drive with me? Now, okay, backstory. Just to give you some context about Andrea, okay, that's me talking in third person again. Andrea previously do not like road trips. I don't like road trips. You get in the car, and have I taken them before? Absolutely. But I get in the car and it's time to ride. I can't ride in the back sometimes, because then I get nauseous. Okay. So then when I do get in the car and I'm riding, I like to go to sleep. Like, I need to go to sleep. So I'm like asleep the whole time that we're in the car. It's just not my thing. Some people like to get in the car and they just drive and they say that they love it. A lot of people have told me that, clients have told me that, family members have told me, like, sometimes they like to just get in the car and drive, and it just does something to them. For me, it does not do those things. It doesn't do it for me before COVID. I would just be like, oh, dreading getting there. Are we there yet? Are we there yet? I was one of those, even as an adult. However, this enlightenment, this thing came up where it was a journey that I needed to take, and I needed to take it for myself. I needed to drive the car myself from Texas, one state, all the way to New Jersey. And I do believe it is a 22-hour drive. Okay. She said she was going to do it. So, rent a car. We pack up the car. I give a time, because usually when I'm getting ready to do something, honey, when I put a plan together, I make it make sense, and then I go for whatever my plan was. So we had a plan, and we needed to leave out at 6 a.m. on whatever day that was. I don't even know. And then we gave ourselves 2 days on this journey, 2 days to get to New Jersey. Okay, let me make sure I'm tracking. I'm saying this right. Okay, so we pack up the car and we get in the car, and my daughter, who is the lawyer, right? When I say I'm a planner, I plan, but then I kind of float. I'm a little more floaty. I'm a little more flower child than she is. I'm not so rigid with my plan. I like to have a plan. I like to make it make sense, but I'm not as rigid. my baby, she's a lawyer. So when she has a plan, honey, she's rigid with the plan. So, which is amazing. Like together, we're amazing. So she said, okay, Mom, we going on this trip. And guess what? Because I'm like, okay, where are we going to stop? Like where? And because me, child, I just know I'm going from Texas to New Jersey because I'm just a flower child. However I get there, I'm just going to get there. But, you do have to have it. You got to get some rigidity in there. So, okay, where are we going to stop in the middle? Like when we get tired. For me, I'm thinking, we find a nice hotel and we stay. Not my partner. She said, no, this is what we're going to do. Let me see what place is in between. I'm like, I don't know what place is in between. Then we found out that Nashville was in between. So I said, okay, I've never been to Tennessee. You want to go to Tennessee? She said, yeah, we're going to go to Tennessee. So the first leg I drove, and I do believe it was the first 10 hours, I drove straight to Tennessee. And let me tell y'all something. I felt like I had superpowers. Now, the whole truth is some of the superpower came from because y'all know I had just had the COVID. And y'all know back then they said, once you get the COVID for 3 months, you can't get the COVID again. So you got like super COVID little cells in your body, like fighting off all of the COVID in the world. So I felt like I had superpower. I was like forgetting my mask, on our trip. My daughter like, where's your mask? Because she didn't get COVID, right? So she like, where your mask? I'm like, oh, man. Oh, where's my mask? Oh, that's right. Let me get my mask. Oh, yeah, let me put on my mask. All right. Silly, real silly. But this is the truth. I'm always going to tell y'all the truth. So I felt very superhuman, okay, y'all, because COVID couldn't get me again, and I done lived through it, okay? So I felt like Wonder Woman. I had superpowers. And I felt so enlightened that, we just gonna make it do what it do on this trip. Like, so wherever we land, we just land and we stay. So when she said Nashville, I'm like, okay, well, what do they have in Nashville? So we planned out Nashville. We had some scenic little things that we needed to do in Nashville. Like one of them was, it was like the Dolly Parton restaurant. I think there was a Dolly Parton restaurant in Nashville. I'll show y'all a picture.
We are at the Dolly Parton.
Dolly. Hey, Nashville, Tennessee. Quarantine mask.
Oh, so you can see Dolly.
And the ground. What the ground say? Graduate, Nashville. Okay.
Okay, so we went there. Oh, while we were there, there was an HBCU. It escapes me now. I don't know why I want to say Edgar. I don't know. I can't remember the name of the HBCU that we went to. It's a medical school, and it's right there in Nashville. We went to go see that. We went to go see like the major strip, and we took pictures there. I'll show y'all that picture in Nashville. Okay. Oh, and so where we decided to stay, that was where we first got like the Nashville hot chicken, We tasted that for the first time in Nashville. Okay. And then while we were there and as we were getting ourselves together, because in Jersey, one thing that I always love to eat when I go to Jersey, it reminds me of my childhood, is White Castle. Child, they got a White Castle in Nashville, so we got to get some White Castle. And then there was some houses. So one thing that my daughter and I enjoy doing, and I've always loved to do this, is I love to see houses, like, big, beautiful houses, real estate. And so there was some people who we knew who lived there who we would watch their show, especially during COVID. We watched the Chrisleys. I don't know if y'all know the Chrisleys. So the Chrisleys, they in jail now, y'all, because they was doing some illegal business, but we didn't know that, and we loved the Chrisleys. And so we knew that they lived there. They lived in Nashville, and they taped their show in Nashville. So we said, okay, while we there, we're going to go by and see where they take their little show, see their little real estate in Nashville, okay, Tennessee. So it was great. And y'all, just before we were going, my daughter says, "Ma, you know we like the Virgin Hotel." I'm like, "Yes, we like the Virgin Hotel." She was like, they just opened a brand new Virgin Hotel in Nashville, Tennessee. It's brand new. We gonna stay there. When we stay there, we go to Nashville. So we booked the night there. When I tell y'all, this trip, this journey was amazing. Okay. So I had never in my life driven 10 hours straight. Never. One time, maybe it was 7 hours going from Jersey to Virginia. I can remember that a long time ago. It was because I was forced to do it. However, because there was no one else to drive, nobody else who was with me who was the driver, and I had a new car back then. I was in my 20s. So I had to drive that drive. But since then, I had never done that, never driven myself. And so this time there was 10 hours. And y'all know I just said, you know how you say, "Are we there yet? Are we there yet?" That's how I would say anytime I was in the car. On this trip, it was so purposeful for me. It was about freedom. It was about life. It was about living. It was about vibration. Oh, it was about breaking dysfunctional thought. It was about breaking through fear. It was freaking amazing. I wanted to say, instead of freaking, I wanted to say something else, but I'm going to say freaking. I'm talking about every hour, every minute, every second was amazing, and it was never counted. I was on this, and this is what happens when you're in alignment on this journey called life. It was every mile, every step of the way felt like paradise. I wasn't even tracking what time, how do we get there? We had great conversation. It was just all in alignment. We listened to the same music, great music. We went up, we went down, we went loud, we went soft. We had great deep discussions. We even played great shows and interviews, podcasts. Like, when I tell you, when you are in alignment on this journey called life, it feels so good and it is invigorating. And so we get to Nashville. We do all of those things that I said that we said we were going to do. And then it was time the next day. So we drove one day, 10 hours. We were in Nashville. We stayed overnight. So then the next day, that was the goal, was to get up by, I'm going to say, I don't know, 11. We were going to leave by 12. And then I know we had a 12-hour drive to get to Jersey. And I think my numbers are correct. And if they're not, forgive me, but you feel me. And so I'm going to drive again, right? We're going to get on this road and we're going to drive again. So as we get on the road with my co-pilot, hey, family, come on over here because I have something for you. Starting off with a go-to guide for keeping your minds healthy and strong. This right here is the Bible to mental health. It's your mental health Bible. The name of it is 6 Pillars to Power Up Your Mind and Make Mental Health a Lifestyle. Everything that you need to know about keeping your minds healthy and strong is in this go-to guide. Where you get it from? Well, you get it from awisebrown.com/shop. But in this go-to guide, honey, in this mental health Bible, you know what you're going to find out? You're going to find out the benefits of aromatherapy, and how it can shift your mood. But guess what? You don't have to go any place else to look for your aromatherapy because your girls got you, okay? You can get some aromatherapy here. This is aromatherapy is in this candle. This is called a slice of happiness. It makes me tingle, like literally makes me tingle. A slice of happiness. This is a cruelty-free candle with no parabens, no formaldehyde, and no known suspected carcinogenics. Now, you know, you go out here and you find these candles that smell good, but are they good for you? Are they good for your brain? Come on now, get real with yourself. Well, this one smells delicious and it's good for you. Made with essential oils. It's a soy candle. Amazing. Uh, you can burn it or you can just walk by and smell it. Lord have mercy, it's so good. Okay, so that's your candle, your aromatherapy, which raises the dopamine in your brain. That's your natural feel good neurotransmitters in your brain. All right, y'all. And I'm a part of you, you're a part of me. We are a family. We got hoodies now, and these are unisex hoodies, and they wear well, they wash well, and they feel so good. So you can wear them over your clothes, you know what I'm saying, and look dope, or you can wear them as your clothes with nothing under them, which I like to do often. And when you travel everywhere, I mean, every time I wear them, I'm moving around. People are always asking me whether I'm traveling, going to the supermarket. What's that? Who's that? And I'm like, mental health is a lifestyle. Because see, this is on the back. Okay, they come in white and they come in black. I'm like, join the family. Mental health is a lifestyle podcast. So there you go. Family, don't you ever say that I ain't give you nothing. You get all of these things from awisebrown.com/shop. All right. I got your goods. I got you. You don't have to go anyplace else. I'll see you on the other side. We started to ride. But as we started to ride and we got closer and closer, although it felt so good and it was invigorating, as we were on this journey, I started to get fatigued. Just tired, just physically tired. The car was well. We had all our good snacks in the car. We packed up the car well. We tipped the valet car real good so that nobody could steal our stuff. We had a whole bunch of stuff in the car that we left at the Virgin overnight and all that stuff. But as we were starting to drive and go to Jersey, about 5 hours, 6 hours, 7 hours in, as I'm on this journey, I started to kind of lose some air. I started to kind of descend a little bit. My mood was kind of went down a little bit. Then I started to get a little fatigue, right? My fervor was still the same. I was still excited. This was still a trip of a lifetime. It was a trip that really spoke to freedom. It was inner freedom for me, and it was just showed externally. It was inner freedom and it showed externally. And so it was still a trip, and I still loved it, and I was 10 toes down, but it started to get a little bit troublesome because I got a little tired. Was a little fatigued because I'm driving. And then it started to get dark. And then we were in mountains. So we had to drive through mountains. And the roads started to get smaller and smaller. And I had rented an SUV. And remember, I told you guys, I had never, ever done anything like this before, especially for so long. So maybe about the 7th hour, maybe, okay, now we're making it to the 10th hour. Now I'm starting to look at the clock. So my daughter and I mean, we chilling and we having a good time. And I don't want her to know that I'm starting to be concerned because not that I was so tired that I was falling asleep. I wasn't sleepy. I was just fatigued of the driving. And she offered several times, Ma, you want me to drive? I'm like, no, because I'm saying to myself, I love the girl, and the girl, she does well with driving, but, I just didn't need her to drive me on this journey that I was on. Let me go ahead and control this thing and go ahead and drive through. The girl know I love her, but I'm just saying I didn't want her to drive. I didn't want to drive this big car. I didn't want. So anywho, because the roads were a little rickety. The roads were a little small, and then it was raining. It started to rain. And then it got darker. It was starting to get darker and darker. And now we at the 11th hour. We're at the 11th hour. And your girl, I am tired. So we started off at 12. Now, it's like 11 p.m. at night. And we're going through mountains. And I told y'all, it was chilly. This was in November, okay? We going to Jersey, okay? So you got what I'm saying. It was cold too, okay? And so, some fear started coming up, right? Some old trauma started coming up as I'm in this situation on this journey of Oh, I can remember a time when it was cold when I was younger and I was driving in the car and an accident occurred because the road was slippery. Got me? So some trauma that I experienced in the past, now when I'm in a situation on my journey of freedom, some of those things start to pop up in my head. And they pop up in my head. And so then I have to beat them down. I have to say, wait, hold on. That's not true of right now. It ain't snowing. It's just raining, right? So I'm doing inner work as I'm on my journey. So it gets a little scary. And some of those things from trauma starts to come up in your mind as you're on your journey. However, especially as you're starting to get closer and closer to the goal, then all of a sudden, all of these things start to come up. So you start to get in valleys. I'm in valleys. So I can't wait to peak. I want to get to my peak, but then I'm starting to feel a little troublesome. And then my co-pilot, as I'm talking to her, God is always my co-pilot, but my co-pilot, my daughter, she's starting to ask me, Ma, you getting a little tired? Yeah, I'm tired, I'm honest, but no, I'm good. I'm good because I know that I have to have the fortitude. I'm going to make it. But I was a little worried, my anxiety started getting a little bit higher because I was getting tired. And I know that she could feel it because we are so aligned. So she started changing the music. She started putting on old school, club music, so she could start to give me some energy, right? And then she started to encourage me, started to tell me stories. So that's another thing. As you're on your journey, and sometimes you get in valleys, you make sure that you're cognizant about the people around you. Have the right people around you so that they know what they can give you to give you more wind beneath your wings so you can go further and you can go higher. So as she starts to see my body language and she starts to see me go down in these last hours, she's like starting to change conversation. So her conversation, as she's saying to me, is charging me up and giving me energy. The music that she's putting on, in the car is music that's just nostalgic music that's reminding me of when I was younger and I was vibrant. And so now I'm dancing and I'm driving. It gave me a different type of energy, wind beneath my wings, so that now I can push that gas and I can go a little bit further. You understand what I'm saying? Gave me another sense of confidence, Then I always start to pray and ask God for strength. But guide me, Lord, guide us and protect us as I know that you told me that you would. And then as I'm starting to come through and get through, y'all know that prophet Rumi, one thing that Rumi would say, one of his sayings was, the garden of the world has no limits except in your mind. The garden of the world has no limits except in your mind. My mind, getting my mind right on this journey. And then, as we started coming in, and now we were almost to that 12th hour, and I could just remember getting off the highway, and it just reminded me of when I was a younger girl in my childhood, and I just knew that I was almost at the end of my journey after kind of going through some trials, little trials, the rain, little weather, little rickety roads, little tribulations. It got a little scary, Could I have stopped? I could have stopped. Was I going to stop that car and turn around and go back? Absolutely not. Was I going to stay on my path? Yes. Was I going to ask God to guide me and to support me as I know that he said he would? Yes. Am I going to lean on the people that I put around me, that positive energy who knew me and knew what to do to give me the wind? Absolutely, that's what I did. You understand? Did I ask myself? Did I check myself? Are you tired? Are you sleepy? Are you tired? Can you make it? Absolutely, I can. Did you start off on this journey at the wrong time? Nope. You did pretty well. You left at a certain time. You could have left a little bit earlier. You could have, and maybe next time that you will. Yeah, okay, that's something that I learned about myself, right? Lessons on the journey. Yeah, then another lesson is make sure that you slow down and you keep the speed limit, because you don't have nowhere to go but wherever you want to go. You You are on a freedom ride. You don't have to be there at no specific time. The only time you need to be there, my love, is when you get there. So these are all the things and tools that I've used when I was in the valley. But as now I'm coming around the corner and I'm about to hit my peak, and I know that I'm right here. I'm at the street. I'm at the street that I know I got 5 minutes before I make 2 more turns. And then I'm about to hit my destination, my family. I'm about to hit my destination. And as I'm riding around, just before, now I'm 30 seconds in, all of a sudden, my co-pilot, no direction from me, is having the right people in your life. My co-pilot, just as I am, you understand what I'm saying? I am now descending into my goal. This was a freedom ride where I learned so much, I experienced so much. I did it on my own. It was something that my intuition, my internal map, the God in me told me to do. It's time for you to do so you can learn these lessons, push through, learn so much about myself, push through fear, and said I was going to do it. Although there was, I did hear that you don't need to do that. That don't make no sense. Why would you do that? And I still pushed through it because I know what God told me to do. And as I was getting ready to pull in, turn down that street where I could see my mama's house down into the street, my co-pilot put in she and I, we got this song, our favorite song. I didn't cue it up. I didn't tell her to do. She put it in. And when she put that record, I'm saying record, that's old school. When she put that song on, as I was there was no other song that would have made this moment, the moment of freedom, the moment is miraculous as this moment. She put that song on, y'all, and as I turned that last corner, and I pulled into my mother's driveway, 22 hours later, really 2 days, but you understand what I'm saying. Now on this leg, it was 12 hours. After going through all that I went through, that could have stopped me. But it didn't. Thank God it didn't, because I was focused. I wasn't giving up. I was pushing through. I was being smart. I was open to the lessons. I was using the resources that I had on this journey. And I got to my destination, to my goal. And we both sat there and listened to that song and we danced, and I cried like no other. I cried like no other. I cried, and it was a joyous cry. It was a cry of happiness. It was a cry of freedom. So I would ask you, where are you going? What journey do you want to take? But yet and still, somebody is telling you shouldn't take it, or your family trauma is telling you that you shouldn't take it, or some old trauma that maybe you experienced are telling you shouldn't take it. What is that journey? I'm urging you, go on your journey, because life is a journey. God's got you. Go on your journey, and don't let any of the mistakes that you've made in the past stop you from starting on a new journey. Isaiah 44, and y'all know I am not one to quote Bible verses, so I had to look this one up. Isaiah 43:18 says, God doesn't remember your past. He gives us a fresh start. So where's your fresh start? What is the journey? What is your journey? What's your journey? I want y'all to think about the journey. And then I want you to choose to have the courage to go on your journey. Remember what Rumi says. The garden of the world has no limits except in your mind. All right, family. That's this week's episode. Where's the journey? If you come up with a journey, come on, text it down there. Put it, if this is, if you're watching this on YouTube, put the journey. I want to know what the journey is. Where's the journey? What's the journey? A new career, new relationship, new friendships? Is it a trip around the world? What's the journey? God is always conspiring for your good. Go on your journey, because I had an experience, the journey of freedom, where I actually made a t-shirt about it. So I have a t-shirt in my t-shirt line, freedom. Right here. And you can get those t-shirts and hoodies at awisebrown.com. All right, family. That's it for another episode of the Mental Health is a Lifestyle podcast by your girl, Andrea Wise-Brown. Remember, subscribe, ring that bell so you get the notifications. I love you.